It's time for another edition of Boy Green Daily, talking all things New York Jets, and we've got a spectacular guest to do so. And, well, without further ado, let's get into it.
Zoinks! It is unequivocally the Super Bowl for New York Jet fans.
Field Yates, baby. Field gosh darn Yates. Let's bring him on the show.
Come on, people. Connor Rogers is joining the show. What's up, Connor? But Trevor gosh darn Sycamore, baby, for me, personally, my favorite New York Jet of all time.
Wow, it's great to be on. What an intro that was right there.
Paul, nobody does an intro like you, man.
Paul, you give the best intro of literally any podcast that I've ever been.
I'm gonna lose my gosh darn bananas.
Good morning. What's poppin', everybody? My name is Paul Histon Jr., a.k.a. Boy Green. I'm the New York Jets digital reporter for Heavy.com. Welcome to Boy Green Daily, a daily New York Jets video program. And this is quite a weekend. It is a lot of alliteration. It is Take Flight Talk Takeover Weekend. We've got Woody on Sundays, and now we've got the other piece to the puzzle. Abby from Take Flight Talk. I've heard so much about her from Woody. He's been singing her sweet praises, and now she's here to tell her own story here on the program. Let's bring her in. Your favorite New York Jets fan, Abby. What's up, Abby?
Hi, I'm happy to be here. Your intro is fire, I might add.
I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. So, Abby, tell for Jet fans that are not familiar, which, by the way, they should be, obviously, give us a little bit of taste. First off, how'd you become a Jets fan? And also, where can people find you?
Yeah, so honestly, how I became a Jets fan is the question I get the most because I'm born and raised in Arizona. I'm a proud Arizona alum. I went to the University of Arizona. So what ended up happening was since I was in fourth grade, I was wanting to go to USC, University of Southern California.
Sure.
And that's when their football team was just absolutely dominant. And then what ended up happening was I followed Mark Sanchez's career the entire time there. And then obviously when he got drafted, my little boyfriend at the time bought me a jersey. And I was like, well, this is my team now. And I already knew no one will ever call me a bandwagon New York Jets fan. You can't bandwagon this team. They've been god awful for like a decade. So that's how I became a New York Jets fan. Other than the Jets, I am a diehard Arizona fan. Suns, Diamondbacks, of course. Unfortunately, they lost the World Series. Obviously, Coyotes when they're doing great. And then I'm happy right now that my Arizona Wildcats are ranked both in football and basketball. So at least I have something to cheer about. But I'm on TikTok and Instagram mainly. So you can see my handle, ab602434. And then, of course, I am with Fitz and Woody on Take Flight Talk. So you can find me there as well.
Well, that's beautiful. I love it. Hey, and that Sanchez connection, those were better times, Abby. Those were better times than the glory days. We've been in the dark ages ever since, with the Jets being the active longest playoff drought in the NFL right now. So things are a little bit tough. Well, where are you at, though? Because obviously, we had Aaron Rodgers like, "Ooh, baby, what's going to happen?" And then obviously there's been some losing, but it still seems like everything's in front of it. We got this Bills game tomorrow. We've got the Dolphins on Black Friday. It seems like there's a lot in front of the Jets. Maybe they could turn this around.
I mean, to be honest, I went to the Sunday night football game against the Raiders, and the Raiders fans are they're absolutely miserable to be around. I heard it before the game, during the game, after the game. They're just their own separate breed. But honestly, after that game, I've kind of just felt like I was in mourning this entire time. It's really hard to not feel like this team's playoff hopes are just dwindling away. Now, obviously, we're facing this Sunday a beat up Buffalo Bills team, and I can see this game going either way. I checked the spread. Looks like it's at 7. I absolutely think we will cover the spread. But, this offense has just been disappointing the last couple of weeks. And it's just funny how the spread is at 7. And that is exactly what we can't do. A touchdown. We can't get in the end zone to save our lives, literally. So, obviously, there's still a bunch of hope. I'm excited for that Miami game, too, that Black Friday game. That should be fun. this defense consistently keeps us in games weekly. So there's still a lot to cheer about, at least during the game, at least when they're on the field. But that's kind of where I'm at with this team. I'm slowly kind of fading away and kind of checking out. And then hopefully they can redeem themselves this Sunday. That's all I can hope for.
Yeah, well, let me ask you. You were there at that Las Vegas Raiders game on Sunday Night Football for the first time in a long time. And again, it's an incremental progress for Jet fans. Like, the Jets have been horrible on third down, but they were 7 of 16 on third down in that Raiders game, and there seemed to be some signs. They looked good early. They were moving the football, but a bunch of field goals instead of those touchdowns. Do you think that's a sign of maybe you got this vulnerable Bills team on the docket on Sunday? Maybe the Jets found some sort of magic that they can kind of capitalize on, get the juices flowing? Maybe.
I mean, maybe a little. Obviously, we've heard all week these personnel changes. Obviously, we saw Michael Carter get released. He obviously got signed to the Arizona Cardinals. I'll be seeing him on my television. Obviously, that's local TV for me. So, honestly, though, I don't know. It's just so hard to tell. Zach actually had a better game last Sunday. And I mean, there's some potential there. You see glimpses every week of what this team can do, but it just falls apart at the end. It's when you take 20 steps forward and 10 steps back. That's what the games have been like lately.
Do you like the fact that the Jets cut Michael Carter? I guess he ended up in your Arizona homeland, so maybe that's good at the end of the day. But Jets cutting Michael Carter, did you like that? Did that bother you? Where were you at there?
I'm not surprised because we obviously haven't really utilized him in the last, basically in all the games. He hasn't really been utilized, and they took him out after that one penalty this past game. But I think I'm more surprised that he was released after the players meeting. I just think the timing was a little off. And honestly, everyone loves Michael Carter. If you don't like Michael Carter, there's something wrong with you. He is like honestly seems like such a fun person to be around. But that's the only thing I'm shocked about. And obviously that just leaves room for Izzy to kind of make his way and find his place on the team. So.
Yeah, it is a little weird because 3 teams ended up putting in waiver claims for Michael Carter, which makes you think the Jets could have traded him if they wanted to ahead of the deadline.
Thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it seems like a missed opportunity by the Jets, and then you just cut him for no reason outside of Saleh saying, "Hey, I don't want him to rot on the bench." Something smells fishy. Something
and it'll be a little bit of a fresh start. I mean, I can see trying to figure out anything to give this team a spark, but honestly, for me, the only spark this team needs is Aaron Rodgers. Let's be honest. None of those little changes are really going to make a difference.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, that does seem like rearranging the deck chairs on the Titanic a little bit. Hey, you know what? How to fix it? RB3, you're out. Like, now everything's fixed. Presto, magic wand. Perhaps not. But let me ask you about Rodgers. Are you drinking the Kool-Aid? Is he coming back this year? Do you believe?
If he is good and he wants to play, he will. This is honestly going to be Aaron Rodgers' team once he is obviously back to being healthy and on the field. I struggle with this because I don't want him behind this offensive line. And if we don't have a playoff chance, just wait till next season. You know what I mean? There's no rush. And if the goal is to have Aaron Rodgers win a Super Bowl and for us to pass it back off to Zach, then that time doesn't matter essentially. So honestly, it just depends the position that we're in. And I think these next 2 weeks will really tell us if he's going to come back. But now he's saying first it was Christmas. Now it's Thanksgiving. And I'm like, oh, is it going to be this week? Who knows?
Yeah,
obviously,
it's hard to keep track.
That tequila on the field is a little interesting.
Yeah, if people didn't see that, Aaron Rodgers was hanging out with a fan, did a quick dap up, and then he stumbles, whoa, and then it looked like a science experiment. He's like, no, that was tequila. I'm like, how'd you get that? And we gotta pay for our tequila there.
I've never get to sneak any tequila in that type of bottle. I'll just say that.
Yeah, that was a little bizarre. Yeah, very, very odd. I guess Rodgers is an odd guy, but I agree with you though on every front. First off, if there's no chance for the playoffs, Rodgers, don't risk it because, again, there's the chance he could re-injure it. And if he re-injures it here in November, he may not be ready for the next season. So, but if the playoffs and everyone's healthy and the doctors and everybody goes, hey, blessed be he's good to go. I mean, that would be pretty spectacular, pretty exciting, potentially to get him on the football field. But I think you're right. It's these next 2 weeks. The Jets play the Buffalo Bills, obviously, this week. Then they have the short week against the Miami Dolphins and the Black Friday game. I know it's been ugly. And you were there for the Raiders one, which was, as ugly as it gets with getting so close and finding a way to lose in this 2-game losing streak right now. But if the Jets win these next 2, which I know can sound crazy in some sense, but it's right there, all of a sudden the Jets are in the thick of the division race, and they haven't won that division title since 2002. So I think it is, to your point, going to be determined here over these next 2 games.
We literally control our own destiny at this point.
Yeah. Which is a good feeling, to be honest with you, to have it like you can live and die by the sword a little bit easier when you're like, hey, if we lose these, we have no one to blame but ourselves. But if we win these, all of a sudden, in the most unlikely of fashions, we could do this. I'm going to be honest, Abby, just to get all like sad here for a second. Seeing the division where it is right now, with the Bills at 5-5, the Dolphins are at 6-3 coming off the bye, like this division is ripe for the picking. And if Aaron Rodgers was healthy, we'd be dominant. We'd be 8-2 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Record.
I honestly am loving to see the Patriots at rock bottom right now. And it pisses me off every single week that we did not win that game. I don't know how. And honestly, I don't know how we got through the first 6 weeks, hit the bye, and are now on that kind of 2-game losing streak. It's insane because we have faced so much better teams and somehow managed to pull off a win in some of those cases. And now we're just kind of, I don't know how we're falling apart. We had a nice, the bye week came at an interesting time because we were getting hot. And so I'm kind of thinking did it come at the wrong time? I thought it was a perfect time because, we were kind of busted up a little bit. And then since then I've kind of been proven wrong. So I just, we really need to take advantage of the spot that these Buffalo Bills are in this Sunday.
Yeah, this is a vulnerable Bills team, and I feel like it could be, the loser could be in a real rough spot. Obviously, the Jets are at 4-5; they'd be at 4-6. The Bills, on the other hand, would be 5-6, and the Jets would have the sweep ski over the Buffalo Bills. We haven't seen that since 2016, so the Jets again could be in a very prime position here to put the Bills in their place. Which, by the way, I would love nothing more. Bills fans have been, I don't know about you on your social media, but Bills fans have been a little arrogant, a little high in the hog, all in there in a bag of potato chips. I wouldn't mind slapping the Bills around a little bit.
Yeah, Bills Mafia, they're their own separate breed too. And I don't know why they're talking. And Josh Allen has kind of just gotten exposed these last couple of weeks. The whole team is, and they're missing Matt Milano real bad at this point in time.
Oh, very much so. What do you think it is? The Jets have seemingly had Josh Allen's number. They've been, waving the magic wand and putting him in tough spots. Do you have any idea what this magic elixir the Jets have over Josh Allen? Because he's pretty good against all the other teams normally.
I know. I don't know. It's funny because he had 3 interceptions, and it was funny. Jordan Whitehead must be his kryptonite at this point in time.
Who would have thought? So,
yeah. And I mean, he have an interception against the Raiders as well. So I'm just hoping he goes back to doing that this past Sunday. It's crazy. We have frustrated some of the best quarterbacks in the league right now. And if we just had a competent offense that could just do the basics, get in the end zone, we would just be in such a much better spot. This season has really been disappointing, and it's been disappointing. It just has it's a roller coaster ride with this team. It always is. I'm hanging on to the Zach Wilson train, but I'm all the way in the back, barely strapped up, no seatbelt. I'm about to just jump off the train at this point.
I don't think you're the only one on the train that may be willing to look outside and say, how fast is this thing going? All right, here we go. YOLO, whoop! And throw themselves over the edge. Could be there. With Michael Carter gone, that means the rookie Ishy Abanik is going to get his debut against the Buffalo Bills on Sunday. What are your expectations? He's a talented kid. Maybe a little pop, a spark for this offense. They desperately need it.
Yeah, he might be, and especially too because in the preseason, obviously he got a lot of reps from Zach Wilson, so he's kind of comfortable with him. So I'm hoping it does provide a little spark. Obviously, Jeremy Ruckert's been in the conversation. Hopefully that provides a little spark. I don't know how much it will actually do. Because again, right now, I feel like we've just been shooting ourselves in the foot. It's the penalties that are killing us. You know what I mean? And what I'm hoping for Sunday actually too is Zach Wilson. I actually think Zach Wilson gets the ball in the end zone his damn self this weekend. Yeah, please. That is what I'm manifesting right now.
Yes. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, all about that manifestation. You're right. All right. Let's get into your fandom a little bit. Okay. Right now, who is your favorite Jets player on the team? Who
Oh,
is it?
I'll show you right now. And I rocked
Oh.
his jersey.
Oh, G-Dub. Oh, what a beautiful
That is
jersey.
my
The
guy.
legacy
That's my
jersey.
dude.
Mm.
Close second place, Bryce Huff, though. Bryce Huff.
Okay.
By far.
Okay.
Love that guy.
I love that.
Mhm.
Okay. What about the other side? Who do you hate? Come on. Who's someone that you hate their guts on the team?
Right now, I don't want to be cliche, but it has to be Lazard because just his penalties, and we paid you $44 million to catch the ball. And even against the Raiders, he sort of had it bobbled it, and thank God he caught it, because Jets fans would have lost their minds if he would have dropped that. Right now, though, I'm not his biggest fan. I mean, there's a lot of people that I don't like on this team. Just this offensive line is beat up too. It's unfortunate, and we're strongly missing AVT, and I can't believe like the amount of Achilles injuries this season just from all quarterbacks it's insane. Fix the turf.
Yeah, thank God. I mean, for Pete's sake, I just don't understand. It feels like every time we've won a game this year, we've had to sacrifice a player to the football gods in exchange for the victory. It's been painful, brutal.
Never let AVT play in Denver ever again. Ever again.
You know, it's funny. I joked, but I wasn't joking, and I apparently wish I said it stronger. Heading into the Denver week, I almost just said, you know what? How about Brees and AVT? You just don't play this week, just for the juju and mojo of it. And I'm like, ha ha ha, kind of kidding. And then once ABT goes down, I'm like, you know what? I really wasn't kidding earlier this week. Why?
I mean, just back-to-back injuries for him. I feel so bad. First with the triceps, now with the Achilles. It's insane.
And he's a USC guy. He's
I know. That's why all the USC players, I do like them. He's one of the best. He's one of the best people in the draft that's come out of the draft, obviously.
Yeah, let me ask you. So maybe this is an obvious one. Is Mark Sanchez your favorite all time?
I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's between. So I have 3 jerseys. I have Garrett Wilson, and I hadn't gotten a new one in so long because I honestly hesitated with Garrett Wilson too, because he's supposed to change his number next year back to 5, like how he was at Ohio State.
He
but
did
I was
confirm
like, whatever.
that. Yeah.
I have the OG number, Offensive Rookie of the Year number. I have a Mark Sanchez jersey, and then I have Darrelle Revis. So honestly, it's a close tie with Revis and Sanchez. I mean, I'm probably leaning more towards Sanchez because he's the whole reason I became such a fan of this team. Mm-hmm.
And by the way, Garrett did say that on social media. So he is moving to 5. We had Thomas Morstead and Garrett on the show earlier this year. And Thomas did say that he is currently number 5, but he'll give that up to Garrett, who's going to go back to his college number. But Garrett did say on social media, he's going to respect the OGs that have the 17, the Offensive Rookie of the Year number. He's going to look at them a little bit differently, despite the fact that some of the new people that'll have number 5. So you'll get some extra brownie points there, Abby.
It's funny because I still associate 5 with Mike White for some reason. And his guy obviously is with the Miami Dolphins now. But yeah, I would think about maybe getting a new jersey. I got the legacy jersey, as you can see. And I was as soon as they came out, I was like, I'm instantly getting that. The whole aesthetic of it, it looks nice. And honestly, I'll probably get an Aaron Rodgers jersey. I think the 8 just looks appealing on the jersey. It looks fly. It looks fresh.
Yeah, it does. It is straight fire. I do love the Rodgers one and the legacy jersey in general. They're just sexy. I've got a few of them. They're nice. I love it clean. So the more the merrier there. Abby, as we're wrapping up here, only a few more minutes. The show goes by too damn fast. We could do this for 24 hours. I would love to talk to you all day. New York
Jets all day. I mean, I do it all day anyways, but it's like once you get me started, it's just like word vomit.
Yeah, again, our favorite New York Jets fan here, Abby.
Yes, absolutely.
That's it here on Boy Green Daily. Abby, give us a prediction. Jets Bills tomorrow. We'll have Woody on the program tomorrow. He seems to be more pessimistic, so I'm curious what your flavor is. So what are you? Prediction, Jets Bills. What's happening?
I told you I think the Jets will cover the spread.
Yeah.
I don't have a good feeling that they'll come up on top this week. I'm very pessimistic, and I've been this way since the end of the Sunday Night Football game. I've had a bad feeling about this game all week. And just this offense you couldn't even really show up against the Raiders. And now you're facing just a tougher team. But I think right now the total points is at 39 or something like that. I don't think it'll even be that high scoring of a game. I'm predicting some kind of score like 20 to 16, my bad.
Okay.
20 to 16, something like that. Yeah, 3 to 5 points, I would say, is safe.
Which again would be because the Jets haven't scored a touchdown in 3
Right.
friggin' weeks.
Right.
Yeah, so I don't blame your pessimism, especially you were there at the Raiders game and seeing all that and getting so close and not getting it done. So I don't blame you, Abby. It makes a lot of sense. But I got to say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it really hits different watching them lose in person. I said it on my caption when I posted the pictures from the game. I don't know how you Jets season ticket holders do it. I really don't, because it was a miserable walk because where Allegiant Stadium is, you have to cross a bridge. It was just a miserable walk across the bridge all the way back to the hotel. And right now they have, what is it, the F1 racing in Vegas, and they were setting up for that. So it was just all chaotic and crushed. And I just imagined people taking the trains home back to where they need to go. And I'm like, just, you can probably sense the whole energy, just a silent train ride home.
Sad. Just depressing.
Life of pain being a New York Jets fan.
That's it. It's our curse to bear for the rest of our lives, for better or for worse. But as I always say, that's going to make it. It's going to make the berry so much sweeter once they eventually win. After all the crap we've all been through, the hangover we're going to have after that night is going to be one we'll never forget. So it'll be worth it in the end. But there's just some painful chapters, I guess, still to be written on this Jets journey. Abby, before we get you out of here, again, plug it one more time so all our wonderful Jets followers and listeners on this show can hit you up on TikTok and the gram.
Yep, I'm at Abs. Yeah, I'm at Abs 602434 on Instagram and on TikTok. And I was on a podcast earlier this week, and they asked me if the numbers were my telephone number. No, it's not. So don't even try it. I was explaining 602 is the area code for Phoenix, obviously, and then 434 is where I used to live in Virginia. So you're not even close.
I respect the people trying. Yeah, I'll say I respect the people trying to slide in on the number. Hey, is that part of the digits? How do I get the rest there, Abby? Yeah. Wow, I respect that. Yeah. No bueno, but respect the effort nonetheless. There you go, Abby. Absolutely wonderful. Well, thanks for popping on. We appreciate it. And, of course, everyone go follow Abby. That's fantastic. Thank you so much. And we'll have to do this again soon, Abby.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Like I said, Take Flight Talk Takeover Weekend. Woody joins us as he does every Sunday here on the show. So we'll see you guys